Very good morning all. I, Dr. Nagveni NG, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, welcome all the delegates from Karnataka and all over the state. With the COVID-19 pandemic, we the Keralians set an example that no kind of obstacle could stop us from arranging online programs like workshops, webinars for the betterment of students, faculties, and for the society. We have successfully organized so far 23 national webinars on the eve of World Book Day to promote the publications and reading of the books. IQAC initiates national level webinar on publication metrics, H index, impact factor, and citation databases is organized in association with Library and Information Science and PG Department of Mathematics. With this, now I request our beloved Principal Ma'am, Dr. Uma V. Nerla Madam, to welcome the delegates. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Nagveni. Good morning to all. Good morning to all.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. I, Dr. Uma, Principal of esteemed K-Leads SK Arts and HSK Science Institute, Hubli, welcomes all the delegates, my dear students, from all over the country. Today, on the eve of World Book Day, the K-Leads SK Arts and HSK Science Institute, Hubli, organized an online national webinar on publication matrices, and today's respected guest is with us, Dr. B. Jaiprakash from Bharatidasan University. Welcome, sir. This is our pride moment where once again the India has been griefed into a second wave and we are once again in lockdown. Karnataka also in the same condition. When the first wave griefed our India, the whole country was locked down. Today, the same situation and all our dear students and everyone is away from all of us. But KLE's SK Arts and HSK Science Institute Hubli never looks back. It always trying something different to catch our students, stakeholders, and society as a large by organizing online webinar, workshop, panel discussion, and all. Today, this is one of our effort under the leadership of KLE Society's chairman, Dr. Prabhakar Rao Kore. KLE Society has been established in 1916 and having more than 270 institutions from kindergarten to the professional colleges. We are very proud that our Sri Kadsiddeshwar Arts College and HS Kothambri Science Institute is established in 1952, and with the society as a large demand, the science wing has been established in 1967. Our college is affiliated to Karnataka University, Dharwad. Our alumni has spread all over the country. We are very proud to say that the very prominent alumni, various scientists, they are working in Harvard, they are working in prominent institutes, as well as they are philanthropists and politicians. Our cabinet minister, Sri Prahlad Joshi, is one of our prominent alumni. The Basavaraj Horatti sir is one of our prominent alumni who serves the society as large. Our college is accredited consecutively 3 times by NAC with the accreditation by A grade. This is our proud moment to everyone. With the excellence and quality sustenance, we, the Kalians, always tries to unique and different ways to reach our stakeholders, though they are away from us. Today, once again, on the behalf of Library, Information Science, and PG Mathematics, I, Dr. Uma, and my dear students, as well as the teaching and non-teaching staff, welcome all the delegates, participants, scientists, and our respected resource person, Dr. B. Jaiprakash, to this national webinar. Over to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for warm welcome. Now I request our librarian, Dr. Hemavati KN, to introduce the resource person, Dr. Jayaprakash Sir, Associate Professor, Bharatidasan University. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Nagvani madam. Good morning to all. I am Dr. Hemavati KN, librarian and convener of this national webinar. Respected resource person, Dr. B. Jayaprakash Sir, and our beloved principal, Dr. Uma V. Nerle madam, my dear colleagues, delegates, and participants. It's great opportunity for me today to introduce the resource person, Dr. B. Jayaprakash Sir. He is presently working as an associate professor in Department of Library and Information Science, Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. He has completed BSc and MLASC from Bishop Herbert College, Tiruchirappalli. He has cleared his UGC NET exam in December in 1996 and completed his MPhil in Library and Information Science from Annamalai University and PhD from Bharatidasan University. He has overall 26 years of professional experience. He has guided 26 MPhil and 2 PhD scholars. At present, he is guiding 5 PhD scholars. He published 3 books, 10 book chapters, 70 papers in national and international conferences. He also published 46 research articles in international and national journals. He has delivered more than 110 special lectures in different institutions. He is also an associate editor and peer reviewer for few LIS journals. He is the board of study member in Bharatidasan University, AVVM, Pushyam College, Pondi, and Vellore College for Women. His areas of specialization are library automation and networking, open source software, institutional repository, and digital library. With this brief introduce the great personality I would like to present before you is none other than Dr. B. Jayaprakash Sir. Sir, I am eagerly waiting to share your knowledge with all the delegates here and we very happy to have as a resource person. Thank you, Dr. B. Jayaprakash Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
sir.
most respected dynamic principal, Dr. Uma V. Nerle, respected deans, HODs, and faculty members of SK Arts College and HSK Science Institute, Hubli. Respected faculty members of organizing committee, and respected Dr. Hemavati, a librarian, convener of this one-day national webinar, and my dear participants from various colleges, faculty members, and research scholars. Very good morning to all. I'm very happy to be here as the resource person for this World Book Day one-day national webinar on publication metrics. And I take this opportunity to thank and congratulate the organizing committee members to arrange this wonderful webinar, which is required for the hour. And I also just take this opportunity to thank the authority for giving me the opportunity to interact, to share some of that information related to publication metrics, which is most wanted of the time, because this is required as in a faculty member, and you wanted to just improve of your quality of publications. And as a scholars, they need to just submit their research on time, and their research should be visible. And apart from this, all the IQAC coordinators, so they are in the position to collect all that publications are related to that faculty members, and to showcase to that NAC accreditation and NRF ranking. So such an important that the title which is required for all that scholars and faculty members and IQAC coordinators, and this will help you to just get some insights on a publication metrics, and overall this will allow you to just concentrate on the publications and improve your institutional visibility. So this is what about this topic, and I wish to share some of that information regarding this. Nothing but it's in a publication metrics is, I'm just going to highlight with what is H index, what is impact factor, and what is the databases, and how a scholar, a faculty member can publish a very good article in a quality journal, and based on that, where you can get the citations. So all that I'm just going to inform that. Okay, so this is about my presentation, and my special thanks to the principal because he's taking a lot of efforts to convene a number of programs. As I said, like Hemavati madam and some other colleagues, they mentioned like on 25th the webinar at us. So again, very shortly she is going to arrange one more with an IPR concept. That's what I've heard. So all the best, ma'am. And I take this opportunity. Thank you for just interacted with me and then arrange for that the resource person. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So now with this words, I wish to share my PPTs. We'll continue with that the presentation. So once the presentation is over, I'll take up the queries, I'll answer, and not only to relate to this publication metrics and whatever it is related to your doubt on that research or publication, whatever it is like. Okay. So with that words, I'll share my PPT. Please confirm that whether it is visible. Then we'll continue for a presentation.
Okay, sir.
So now I'm just sharing my PPT. So please confirm it. Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So as I said, like publication metrics will deal with H index, because the most we are hearing that what is H index and what is an impact factor. So here I would like to just mention, give a clear idea about this, what exactly, how this can help you for your the academic purpose. Okay. So now let me explain. The publication metrics, the word metrics means it's in a measurement. In the academic publishing industry, they measure the impact of a published research based on various metrics to check at how many times a paper is cited by a subject or an author. Article in a journal is cited to assess the importance of a journal and its impact on the field of study. See, this metric is which is required to measure a particular paper. It means like whatever the journal article which you're just floating. So that is, it is how many times it got cited by a subject people or a particular author. Okay. So for that, where we can just go measure. So that measurement, it is called that publication metrics. I'll explain one by one. And the second is how many times a specific article in a journal is cited. Now, this assessment will be useful to select for a quality journal for a publication and its impact on a field of study. For example, a library and information science, a particular journal, if it is there, how much this journal makes an impact for the particular subject. So that's what. So now these all can be measured by our publication metrics. So hope you understand. So now, what are the metrics which is available? There are three metrics which is available. So one is with the journal metrics, how the quality journal we can just measure. Second one is with the author metrics, how many, which author is very dominatively producing a number of articles that will be useful for their the community. and third one is for the article level metrics. So here, a particular article, if it is just getting shared or referred by somebody and by the social media, even that can be measured. So now these are the important three metrics which is available. Journal metrics are used to determine the impact a journal has on the scientific community, how this particular journal makes the impact for a particular field. So that shows author, it is an assessment of the impact. Yeah, participants kindly mute. Participants kindly mute your audio, please.
ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ ಬಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋಣಂತ
I request all the participants to kindly mute their audio and video.
Nagveni, yourself mute. Nagveni. Archana.
Madam, make mute all participants except.
And actually, I have done all the participants as mute. I request Jai Prakash sir to unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah. So I've done it. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So now the second one is there with the author metrics. So this makes an assessment of the impact that an author makes on the scientific community or his field. For example, I am there. So how much that impact my publication made it for library and information science. So that can be measured by the author metrics. And third one, for a particular article. So now this is the new concept which has come with that article metrics is alt metrics is the new one. So are used to quantify the impact of published articles, how published papers are being discussed and shared. So when we say like it's a highly cited paper, it means a particular author produced a publication, so that received for the number of citations. Citation is nothing but number of referred. I mean, how many people have referred that particular article. So now this can be measured for a particular article level. Now these are the three important metrics which is available to evaluate your publications. Like next, and what are the name of the metrics which is available? So here we are frequently hearing that information as impact factor, H index. Now other than that, there are a number of journal metrics are available, and I'll highlight only these two because which is required. And all the committee members, whenever that NAC committee, when they comes to our university or colleges, so they are asking like individual members H index, how many, and department H index, what it is, and then finally institution, as in a college, as an university, what is your overall H index, and number of citations also they are asking. So for that, I'm giving a clarification on this, and other metrics also I just highlighted. Okay, now this is what journal metrics. Impact factor, it is very much needed. So impact factor is nothing but to identify the quality of a journal. I'll explain very detailed. And agent factor, now impact factor they are calculating for the last 2 years, and agent factor, and again without the self citation, they will just go with this calculation. And Scientific journal ranking, see, this is by the Scopus, and impact factor and agent factor, it is by that Web of Science, and Scientific journal ranking is by the Scopus, and source normalized impact per paper SNP, now the new one. And this is also, it is by the Scopus, and site score, this again, it is by the Scopus. Now these three, which is journal metrics, are available by the Scopus, and impact factor, agent factor, and immediacy index, this is by the Web of Science. Now immediacy index is nothing but the current year, how many people have referred a particular article. So that makes the difference. Now these are the metrics which is available. I'll explain very detailed what is an impact factor and other journal ranking, and so SNP, site score. Okay. Now author metrics, very famous H index. Now even a G index also, which is available, but is not in a live, so I'm not concentrating. And H index, very much all the committee members, when they're visiting our institute and they're asking by the individual department, overall the institution. So we need to know what it is. And then article metrics, that's called the alt metrics. Each and every article, if it is really a quality one, that goes for that number of the citations. So for that citations, now it is recently, which is shared in all the social media, your Twitter, Facebook, Manley, so all it is like. Now, wherever you're just sharing, so that can be measured. How many people have just referred or shared. Now, before that, they have not given any credit by sharing up the social media. Now, the recent concept that's taken care by the alt matrix. Now, these are the important metrics which is available. Yeah. Now, next highlight is, and everyone should know like what is a H index. So I'll explain the H index. This is suggested by George E. Hurst, and it is also called as Hurst index. Even sometimes H index you can call, otherwise you can say Hurst index, and Hurst number also you can just say. Now this H index, it attempts to measure both the productivity and impact of a published work of a scientist or a scholar. So here, when I say like a particular scholar, so how many articles he has just produced till now, that can be find out. Next is whatever he produced and what is the impact for his published work. So that can be measured, whether it is a good, whether it is a very quality, which is referred by topmost the scientist, or which is referred by which institution and collaborative institution, all that can be measured. Okay, this is possible by the H index. Next, this H index is based on the set of scientists' most cited papers. So this H index, it will just allow you to just find out a particular scientist's most cited papers. It means like a top cited papers, you can just understand, plus number of citations what they've received in other publications also. It means I'll explain that with the graphics, then you can understand what is H index, where to look, all that I'm just going to, right? Yeah, you try to just get only the basic points. I'll explain with the graphics also. Now, the H index can also be applied to the productivity and impact of a group of scientists. So based on this H index, and we can just measure a particular group of a scientist, what is their activity, how the publication, whether they are really doing good, all that can be measured. So now a group of scientists, I can say your HSC college and the science publications. So by the science faculty members, that can be done. Otherwise, I can just go with a department or a university or a country. So as in a whole country, we can measure right now in a pandemic situation, we can identify. So what exactly the COVID contributions by the Indian scientist, that can be understood. So that can be measured by this H index. Now, this is what I highlight about that H index, what exactly it deals, and yeah, meaning of this. Now, how this H index can be calculation. Okay, a scientist, see actually this is the formula, maybe like based on this you could not understand, I'll explain well. A scientist has index H if H of his or her number of papers have at least H citations each. It means whatever you publish, that paper should have a citations. Okay, should have a citation. It means somebody might have just referred, and based on the reference, you will get for a citation, right? So that should have H citations each, and the other, the number of publication where exactly your H index meets, that the other papers have no more than H citations. So this I'll explain. I think it's very difficult to understand by this formula. Now, for example, H index, H has at least H papers that have been cited H times. It means I have an 8 papers and total number of the 8 times which is referred. So it means like my H index is 8. So now a researcher with an H index of 22, so has 22 papers that have been cited at least 22 times. So this is nothing but H index will give you the field and total number of your citations, okay, and average citations by your paper. That's it. Very simple. So based on that, you can measure that you are produced of an article, really it is cited by your colleagues or your fellow colleagues or not. If it is cited, you will get credit. If it is not cited, you won't get. So now, before we'll go for this, this explanation of this, I would like to just highlight. See, now there are 4 ways to publish of your paper. Sometimes you may ask like, sir, I have 25 papers, but still now I have not received any citations. Maybe like faculty members, you may have a query of this like. So for that, simple, I'll just explain. There are 4 ways to publish of your journal articles. So one, just I am the publisher. For example, you are submitting a manuscript to me, and immediately what I'll do, without any just the verification by the content, all it is like, and sending to the expert, simply I'll say it is published. Okay, so this is the one kind, without any reviewing of your article, publishing it. The second one, whatever the article which you just submit to me, and I will just send it to the number of reviewers or experts in a particular field. So this process, which is called peer reviewed or refereed journal, peer reviewed or a refereed journal. So the third one is peer reviewed and indexed journals. So indexed journal is nothing but whatever the journal which I have, this is indexed in Web of Science, Scopus, so like that international database. So when you submit an article, this indexed journal, then your article will be visible by everyone internationally. So whoever is just referring, you will get a credit. So for example, whatever you published in that indexed journal, when somebody refers, they need to acknowledge your references and publish in the indexed journal. Publish in the indexed journal, not in the same journal, at least the indexed journal. Then you will get for a one citation. Hope you understand. So now you know that how difficult to get a citation. Now you know that. Like the next option is the fourth one is so publishing your article in peer-reviewed, indexed, and impact factor journals. So this is what a high quality journals of your specific subject. Now impact factor journal is it's a high quality journals. So how it is possible is that also can be selected by the citations. I'll tell you. So now our concentration, what is H index, what is impact factor, where exactly you can just go publish of your journal articles. When you publish to selecting in a good journal, you will get a citation in turn. This is okay. So hope you understand. If any queries, we'll discuss later. Yeah. So now this H index, very simple. I'll tell you. See, for example, I have published 8 article. I have published 8 article. So now article 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, I have just published. Now this side, right side, you are seeing that the number of citations, It means the first article, what I have just produced, it was very, very quality. So 33 people got cited on this. Now the second one, when I just published, it has just given only 30 citations. So now here we say like when I'm just getting a more citation, it is a very quality publication. When I'm just getting a very less citation, that goes for a not quality. This is what, there is no argument on whether it is okay or not. But as far as the H index, this is the meaning of this. So now first article 33, second article 30. So like that, this is my articles. And this is the, I'm arranging by the descending order of the citations what I've received. So now here, exactly my 6th paper received 6 citations. 6 citations. Now the meaning of H index is whatever your publication, the number of publication meets the same citation. So now 6th paper received 6 citations. Now wherever it is just matching, so that's called your H index. Are you clear now? So first paper, what you produced, very, very quality, doesn't matter. And slowly, and number of papers, what you're just producing, where exactly your citation matches, that's called the H index. So now here you can just say H index is 6. This is what your H index. So that should be mentioned only by the number of articles, not by this citations. So sometimes you may have a query saying that, sir, if it is not matching a 6, sometimes like what we can do what. So if it is not matching exactly the 6, so 1 or 2 more citations can be okay. Even if it is a 7 or 8 citations, so but your H index is only 6. So that to be calculated only by your article. So hope it is clear. Okay. So next is now the graphic representation. As I said, like your number of papers, your number of citations, where exactly meets, this is called the H index. H index. Yes. So now you know that where you have to publish, you should publish of your papers in an indexed journal to get citations. Based on the citations, you will get a H index. That's it. So now next, the other important title, which is there with that tag, which is there with the impact factor. Say, now we are getting a number of the mails saying that, hello, professor, I would like to get your manuscripts, and we just having a very good impact factor journals. We are publishing it, and your the journal article will be immediately available for everyone to have a look. So now, like that, they will be just sending a message, dear Jayaprakash, dear Professor Jayaprakash. So I would like to get your manuscript. Dear scholar, I would like to get manuscript. So like that, they're sending a message, but all that messages what you receive, please have a look whether really that impact factor it has or not. So now, Mehdi ma'am, my audio is very clear, or any disturbances there?
Yes, sir.
Hemod ma'am, my audio is clear? Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hello, sir. It's clear.
So,
it's clear.
your college and maybe like faculty members, thank you ma'am, thank you. So in your college, maybe your IQSC coordinator might have collected all the for NRF. So when she's just collecting it, maybe like your faculty members might have just submitted each and every one by 50 or 60 article, whatever it is like, that's all good. But if it is not in, if it's not received any citations, and based on that, they NAC accreditation or NARF. That is what I wish to say. Maybe like all the faculty members, you might have like more than 60 or 70 papers, but see to that you should publish what are the papers which is there, that should be published in indexed journals, not any other Hubli locally journals or Chennai or Delhi local papers like, okay. So see to that you should publish in the indexed journals. So then only you will get for a citation, in turn you will get for the H index. Otherwise there is no possibility. So hereafter, please you try and get it. Now in the next tag, which is available, how to just calculate for the impact factor. I have told you, you will be receiving number of mails, and by the fake the journals, they're saying that, so my impact factor is 10, 12, or sometimes they're just raising it to 60, 70 and all. So all that, it is not true. So you have to identify whether it is a good journal or not based on the impact factor. So this impact factor, it is for the high quality journals. Indexed journal is enough to get for your citation, but more than that, you wanted to get published in a very quality article in a quality journal, you can just choose that impact factor journals. And what is that, why we need to go for publishing on this is, say impact factor journals and gives the high credit, and whenever you want to just go for your promotion or in a CAS or any other new appointment, when you go, now Government of India, which takes care, and impact factor journals, there are the APS scoring is there, that is in a higher side. So normal one journal, when you just publish, you will get for 10 marks, and when you just go for impact factor journals, they have a range. So plus marks will be there. Say like a one paper, which was just made for more than 5 impact factor factors, and you will get for 15 plus 10 is 25 marks. So like that, instead of publishing and getting a mark for a 20 or 30 papers, you can select a journal, publish, you will get a high marks. So for that, and plus apart from this, very good journal, and this impact factor journals really will dominate in your subject specific. Okay, so that's what. And international ranking and all, they're just going with that topmost 25% of that impact factor journal, and based on that they're selecting. Say for example, your college has a 3,000 publication, for example, you can say, and out of which you have published only for a 10 or international the ranking system, they are taking only that 10 articles, not your 3,000. So rest of the 2,900 articles, they won't even take. So now this is what the important, why we need to just go for a impact factor journals like. Okay, fine. So now I'll tell you how you can just calculate in future when you get some alert message saying that kindly publish. So now this is the way you can just calculate it. Now this impact factor, which is devised by Eugene Garfield, and it is calculated as the number of citations to a journal for the previous 2 years divided by number of articles published in those years. This is nothing but, for example, I wish to calculate for a 2013 impact factor for a particular journal. So now this journal, and whether it is good or bad, how I'm just analyzing is, and say for example, A is the number of times that articles published in a journal in 2011 and 12 were cited by articles in indexed journals during 2013. It means In a 2013, suppose I want to take a particular journal impact factor, I need to think of 2011 and 12. So total number of citations, what I've received for these articles. Okay. So total number of citations, what I've received last 2 years divided by the number of last 2 years. So is it confusing? No, I'll explain. So for example, I want to just calculate for 2013. So in a 2013, for that, I'm just calculating 2011 and 12, the total number of citations received by the particular journal articles divided by number of journals what it is published. For example, a monthly journal, I wish to have a check monthly journal. So monthly journal in a year, there will be a 12 issues. Each and every issue, what I'll do, I'm just getting for 10 articles. So it means like 1 year, I'll get for 120 articles. So it means 2 years, 240 articles. 240 articles. Now say my citation is 1,000 times cited of my 240 articles. So then my impact factor is 1,000 divided by this 240. So it means like it comes 4.01. Now this is what impact factor. Okay. So now whatever that we are getting a message as sir, I would like to have a manuscript, the impact factor is 10 or something like. Those journals might have just started only in last 3 months, last 6 months, last 1 year. Now this impact factor calculation, which goes for last 2 years, how this article got cited. Now based on this citation only, you will get for the impact factor. Now this quality will be measured every year and your impact factor will keep on changes. It is not a very stable. If really whatever the article that journal has, high quality articles, then really your citation will increase. Based on the citation, you will get for a good impact factor. Now this is the logic they're using for an impact factor. So don't go, I mean, whatever your message you are getting for a 10 or 15, don't publish. Maybe as a scholar, you will be in a thirst to just publish immediate articles for a submission of your thesis. But even then, once you just submit, there won't be any the account for that, there won't be any credit for that. So don't do that. Try to publish with the impact factor journals. Yes. So hope it's clear. Now, simple the message and total number of times that your article were cited last 2 years and divided by the number of articles published. So this is called the impact factor. Okay. Fine. Now we have just explained what is in publication metrics and what are the names are which is available and what is H index and what is impact factor. So now you may ask like, sir, this impact factor, where do I just go have a look into this? Okay, I'm not finding a source to go check whether this journal is good or bad. So before I select for the publication, like now for that you have an option journal citation report. That's called the JCR. So JCR is Journal Citation Report. This is by Thomas Reuters. That's a product of Web of Science. It's a product of Web of Science. So now this product, every year they are just giving a list of journals with the impact factor. List of journals with the impact factor. See here, now sample I've just given. This is again, it is a paid. You cannot access freely. But 1 year later, they are just releasing for the free access. Now 2020, you can get it in a Google, you can check at least what your subject specific journals which is available with the impact factor. Then you just try to match with your research, then your article, the content, you can select that article with the scope of a journal, right? So now JCR is the tool to go and select for the data. Now this is the sample. See, this says like a 9,600 citations received in last 2 years. Last 2 years. Based on that citations, they have calculated this goes with 5.311 is the impact factor. So like this, the number of citations and number of articles which is divided impact factor they're getting. Now agent factor, they're just given that this goes with that self copyrights. So self plagiarism. It means like the particular self citation they used to call. Okay. Now elimination of a self citation they will get for the agent factor. Like okay, that we are not just going with the elaborative. Now this journal impact factor where you can just find out is it is by the JCR, right? So now this sample I have downloaded from Google for your information. So which is available in JCR 2020. They will release for the free version. So you can just go to the other title. Now this says like a cancer clinical. This one, this says like 292. This is the topmost journal in the world, and the cancer medical, yeah. So this is like a cancer journal of so this is 292. That's the topmost the impact factor of a particular journal. Like the next is available with Scopus journal metrics. First one, what I told you is JCR. It is by that Web of Science is a product. So these Scopus and Web of Science is an international database. They are the giving a option for the H index, citations, all it is. And Government of India by the UGC, they are giving in a credit for only this kind of a journals like. Okay, I'll tell you. Now this Scopus journal metrics, SJR they are calling it. I'm a site journal ranking they used to call. So based on this, you can select a very good journal. How they are calculating is average the weightage of average citation of weighted citations received in a year. So impact factor they are calculating for 2 years. But whereas in a Scientific journal ranking by the Scopus, they are taking their highly cited average number of weighted citation. It means the impact factor journals, they are calculating only for the too much of citations what the papers are received in a year divided by number of documents for the last 3 years. Okay. So next is with the SNP. They're saying that it is in a journal cited in a subject area. For example, so I'm from library science and I have just published a paper. My paper, which has got 1,000 citations sudden of like, okay. So now the journal citation count per paper. So 1,000 divided by and citation potential it's a subject area. Now what they have to check is I have just received 1,000 citation from various subjects, but here SNP calculates only for how much citations I received in a library and information science. Then only we can understand what impact my subject got by based on my paper. So for that is the new one. It is a SNP, and last one is for a site score. Now site score, Scopus, what they're doing is instead of impact factor 2 years, they're calculating for the 3 years. For example, 2015, they want to have a look. They're taking for a 2012, 13, first published. Now these are the important, the journal metrics which is available to select for a good journal like. Now Scopus, all they're giving at the free of cost. Only the Web of Science, they're giving a JCR by the cost. Okay, yeah. Now this JCR Scientific journal ranking. So this is what Scientific journal ranking, which is available. You can go to that scientific.jr. Suppose hopefully good journal which is available for a physics, chemistry, or whatever it is like. You can just go to this the journal and see to that there's the list of journals which is available. So there you can just go by that journal, search by that area, subject categories, all the region, or whatever it is like. You can just select. And now the first title, it says like a cancer journal of clinicians. It says like a 72.576. This is what Scientific journal ranking the number, so that you can just select. Now this gives for the topmost journal by the Scopus, topmost journal by the Scopus. Yeah. Next, site score. So scopus.com, we can go /sources, and many of the scholars and faculty members, they are just looking, sir, where do I just go for having of a very good journal by the Scopus index? Now this is the place. Please visit and you try to select the subject specific journal and publish of your articles like. Then 100% whatever you're publishing, that gives that citation, that gives the H index. In turn, this H index will improve of your individual and your they are assessing you. Kindly do that. So now the Scopus site score is there. So first journal, it says like a 160.19. So this is the citation score. How they've analyzed this? 3 years account they will check. Last 3 years, total number of citations received by number of articles published. Okay. So now the third one is SNP, what I've told you, like subject specific. Okay, subject specific citation, how much it has happened for a particular article. So now here clinical, it says like a 77 and the SNP score is 100. Okay, so hope these are the important measures which is available to have a quality of a journals by Scopus. These all, it is freely available. You can go to the particular site and you can just take a list of the titles which is available for your subject specific. Yes. Now, hope you understand what is that Web of Science factor, all it is. So now next is with the now Government of India and certain of in UGC Care List. Before it was the UGC Care List, before it was the UGC approved list. Now it's a Care List, and June 14, 2019, they have just brought with this UGC Care Journal List, which is important for scholars and faculty members for submission of your thesis and for any promotion, never internal or a new appointment, whatever it is, they are looking a very good journal. This publication gives the credit for your the publications. Maybe like in your APA scoring, they'll be taking it. For a scholars, you can just submit of your thesis. Now, this Care Journal is a very, very dynamic. So now the dynamic in the sense, so now and then the list of journals will get added and list of journals will get removed from this. Now it is a very big headache for the scholars to removing, even for faculty members, when you publish and after just publishing, sometimes when you are getting an interview for your CS or something, so that time if they remove your journal article, I mean you remove the journal itself, then you won't, there is no possibility to get a credit for your the paper publications. For research, and you cannot even submit of your thesis. Now many of the scholars facing this problem. So the time of doing a research, they're taking that very good initiative and checking that UGC Care List, publishing the articles. But after publishing, the time of submission of the thesis, university checking that current list, whether you have a publication or not. When they check, sometimes your article, which is not in the title, and the title got removed, then obviously they will reject of your thesis. Now this is what happening in many of the universities. Scholars, you are just struggling it. Now that you have to choose the best the publication by that indexed journals, that you can just go for a Web of Science or a Scopus. So now here, this UGC Care List, they have a committee members all over the nation, and they have for the universities, they've just fixed. Now, based on that universities, they will get the recommendations from the IQAC, your college, and your college, then your affiliated university, and university will communicate to the UGC for a quality of a journal for addition of your publications, right? For example, Hubli College, you have a journal which is published more than 20 years or 30 years. It's a very good journal. When you feel, what you can do, you can just recommend this journal through your IQAC to your affiliated the university. So university will recommend to that the UGC for inclusion of this title to the Care List. Now this is the process. It's a very, very tedious process to complete this, and they have a committee to review this. Now South Hyderabad University is taking care for reviewing of your quality. So once they say finalized, and that will get included of your list. Now this is the process behind this, how you can go for a inclusion of a journal. Now for our scholars and faculty members, advisors, and go to this UGC Care List, you try to create a registration. First of all, you have to just create a registration. But still, many of the scholars and faculty members, they're asking like, so where do we just go get a UGC Care List? I'm not in a position to search. Okay. So for that, answer is go to that login, and you have to create registration for this, create a login and credentials. And once it is logged in, and you can get your list as UGC Care Group 1 and Group 2. Now there are two important group which they have devised. Before it was in a 4. Now only 2 is there. The Group 1 deals with locally recommended or UGC committee recommended journals. The Group 2, that goes for only the international database indexed journals. That's called Web of Science and Scopus. Okay. Hope you have understood. Group 1, which is recommended by the UGC. Group 2, which is by the indexed Scopus and Web of Science. These are the two right now which is available. And our committee members, whenever they come, they are asking, our IQS people also will ask, like, only and UGC Care listed journals, articles, you can just give the list. Otherwise, nothing will be given credit to your IQSC on internet credits with the NAC. So now group 1 will go for local journals, whatever that selected by the committee, recommended by the committee. Group 2 goes for that Web of Science and Scopus. See, once you logged in only, so I have just logged as Jayaprakash and it says like a logout. Now I can just go search with that group 1, what are the journals which is available. Now group 2 also it is possible. I have a screenshots, I'll show you. And yeah, next screen. So now last month they have updated. Before it was that 1,141 journal was there. Now 1,216 journals are there, and currently, which is most updated. So they have option for a science, social science, arts and humanities, and all other journals of classification as Web of Science and Scopus also included in this. Okay, so now here science around 304 journals, social sciences 293, arts and humanities were 339 journals, multidisciplinary 43, indigenous 237. Now this much journals which is available in UGC approved or UGC Care journals, please go have a selection of your subject specific, try to understand that and select the good journal and publishers. So here also many of the duplicate journals which is available. For example, now how their floating effect journal by based on this is, for example, UGC approved list, you are going to select some of the journal title. For example, like recently, Kala journal, Sabodhi, and all the journals which was, see, this Kala journal, which is really got a printed version. So this printed is getting printed in somewhere in the north. So now what our fake journals are they doing is, same Kala journal, same ISSN number, they're printing and selling by locally. And our scholars, whenever they're getting a request by this kind of a mediators, simply they will say like collecting a processing fee and publish into the Kala journals like. But these all, it is not original, so don't do that. So printed journals, always you write to them and they have to just give authentication. They won't charge money for this so publication. So this is a message for scholars. So don't go with that. And now and then UGC Care List also, they are listing with the cloned journals are there. When you just go there, the click on the cloud journals, you can understand like now these are the predated journals or fake journals which is available, clone journals. They're just making that. So be aware of this and select and publish of your journal articles. Hope you're clear. So now this is the group 2 journals. As soon as I just clicked on the group 2, Scopus and Web of Science. Now Scopus indexed journal, there are 41,000 plus journals which is available. 41,000 plus journals. So my advice is for science people, always you try to just go with that indexed journals. It is easy to publish. And arts and science or social science people, and sometimes it's very, very hard to publish in the indexed journal. So for that, you try to select in this. You have all the social science journals also, which is available on this. Okay, you try to do it like, okay, in the scope, maybe like our research and international, the research sometimes it'll have. So then you can just go for a choosing of your UGC selected list. Yeah. Now Scopus indexed journals 41, which is available. Now Web of Science Index journal, there are about 25,000 plus, which is available. Now this is the way you can just go to the UGC Care, try to select the list and publish of your articles. Otherwise, now many queries we are getting it, where do I go publish and how the credit comes, whether my thesis will get accepted and whether I'll get a credit for my paper, all that, whether I'll get a citations, all that they're just asking. But now answer is only this. Please go ahead with this. Try to publish in the indexed journals. Yes. So now till now we talked about what is H index, what is impact factor, what are the metrics which is available, how we can calculate, all it is. Now you have an awareness about all. Now slowly, sometimes you may ask like, sir, this H index, where do I have a look into this? So that place is called the citation databases. Okay, that place is called the citation databases. Now citation databases are the database that have been developed for evaluating in publications. So now where do we look my publication, whether it has received a citation or not? is only in a citation database. Now, these databases enables to count citations and to check which article or a journal are the most cited ones. This is the only source to measure of your impact, whether your publication or a journal, whatever it is. Okay, so this is called the citation databases. Now, what are the citation databases which is available? So now one is with the Web of Science. This is by the Thomas Reuters. Now recently Clarivate Analytics, they are the publishers which they have taken care, and Web of Science is the product of a citation database. Next is with the Scopus. It is by the Elsewhere, a very largest science and technology, and Scopus, and Google Scholar, which is freely available. Okay, now Web of Science and Scopus, if science people, when they do, at least social science people, what you can do, you can just try for a Google Scholar, and you have the number of publications on this, and whatever you just publish, and that will have a Google Scholar profile is there, you can just create. I'll also just inform you, and wherever you get a citations, you can come to know that. And next is with the Indian Citation Index, which is recently which is launched, and this covers only for that Indian the publications, Indian journals. It will take care. It won't take care for the international journals of outside countries, but it has only for Indian publications. Just give a credit for that Indian alone. So now last one is for the dimensions. This is the very recent, and you can have a look. And what is dimensions? It is by the digital, the science. Okay, now these are the citation databases which is available to check, to measure your H index and citations. That's the meaning what I want to cover this. Now, you should also know that what Web of Science, just I'm giving the overall coverage of this. Web of Science is with the Thomson Reuters, as I said, and this will allow you to find, analyze, and share information in the science, social science, arts and humanities. So sometimes our science, our social science people, they are feeling that, and Web of Science has only for that science, the journals, not social science journals. No, it has even a social science journals also. It is available. Arts and humanities also, which is available. Okay, so don't feel like which does not have that inclusion of this journals. It has, just for information, and it gives further integrated access to high quality literatures. See here, more than around 25,000 journals which is available, and 15,000 journals has a highest impact factor. As I said, like two concepts. One is with the indexed journals, second is with the impact factor journals. So now indexed journal also, which is available, you will get a credit for your citations. Impact factor you will get for a high, quality journal and the citations like. Okay. Now 159 million of records which is available. Now this is very costly. Actually 15 lakh plus, which is they will be charging every year. As an university, we are getting by UGC, and only by the Web of Science we are getting. Scopus we need to buy separate. So each and every database will cost you around more than 15 lakh per year. So colleges, sometimes it's not possible to buy it. You can get a help from your universities, affiliated universities. They can tell you what exactly your college and citation and everything. You can have a cross check with the experts, and whenever you try to publish. Now 159 millions of records which is available, 40.3 million of a patent which is available, and 7.7 million of a data sets, all your research data which is available. This has a coverage from 1900 onwards. 1900, say like now 2021, and the publications which is available from 1900 onwards, which is available. See, there's such a large coverage of your publications. So when you do this, this goes for millions of people to have a reference. So once your publication is done, so that reaches immediately for millions of people. Like that's what you are getting a citation. So whereas when you publish into that your local journal, and sometimes if it is not printed, it won't reach people. So then you won't get for any citation. So there won't be any visible for your research. Now that is what everyone is recommending, to go for a indexed journal to publish it. Right now, sometimes your IKC people, they may ask like, so how the format of a NAC which they are given, serial number and name of the title of that article, and name of the title of that journal, whether it is indexed to SCI journal or not, and total number of citations, what is the H index. Now this is the detail which they are asking at the time of filling or your IQAC, the publication details, or your NAC, the third category research. And there when you just fill, and you have to fill these details. So when you're just trying to fill this, if your paper which not received any citation, then you cannot fill that. Even if it is not received any citation, you won't get any H index. Now totally this column will be nil. If nothing is filled, or otherwise if you're filled with without the citation or H index, these article which cannot be calculation, I mean, it cannot give credit for your IQAC. In turn, it cannot give credit for your NAC or NRF. Now this is what all the colleges, universities, they have number of publications, that everything it is there, but all the number of publications not giving a credit to your institution. So try to understand, try to publish by this indexed the journals, then you will get 100% whatever you're filling will give a credit. Okay, so now SCA is nothing but Science Citation Index. Now recently they also added with the expanded. Okay, now Social Science Citation Index, SSCI, they used to call Arts and Humanities, ANHCI. This is the indexes which is available. As I told you, science journals, 8,500 journals, more than 150 public disciplines which is available. Social sciences, around 3,000 journals which is available, more than 50 disciplines. So don't feel like it is not included. Even arts and humanities, around 1,700. So like this, you have a coverage of your social sciences. Okay, so you can just search and then publish of your journal articles. Now everything I just explained. Now slowly how that Web of Science will have a look, and how you can just choose for your individual that institutional H index, department H index, and individual H index. By practical approach only, screenshots I'll just show, because if you're not understanding that, even if you have any publication, you cannot spell out how much I have of citations and H index. So for that reason, I'm telling you, this is the access of Web of Science which I've done from my university. So now this Web of Science allow you to just go with the search of any of the topics, or by the institutions. You can just select for the Web of Science a core collection. So now this screenshot shows like I am just checking with the Bharathidasan University total number of publications. Okay, total number of publications by Bharathidasan University. Within 5 minutes, I can understand total number of publications. It means contributions of research publications by Bharathidasan University. I can understand. Now first I'm just typing in the Bharathidasan University. Right side I'm just selecting the tag as address. So here option is there for a title, topics, or whatever it is. I'm selecting as the address. And if you know that the title of the Bharathidasan University, spelling and everything, you can type there. Otherwise you can just look with that index. So they already have an index, you can select. Now once it is selected, immediately this shows like, now Bharathidasan University has published 4,730 publications. How much it is? 4,730 publications by the Bharathidasan University. Now this is the contribution. So if you are sitting in Hubli, you can just log into the Web of Science and check that Bharathidasan contribution, and you can have a feel of it, really what research which is done by Bharathidasan University, or which subject they are dominantly, all that information you can access. So now this work, what they're doing is, as soon as you submit of your NAC details, and now InfluMNet Center, so they're taking care, they're cross-checking whatever the publication which you have given, it is original or not, whether you have given a correct data or not. That is what every time before releases the NRF or a NAC, NRF data or a NAC, they're just sending a message, your publication slightly have a deviations. So it says like only this and your quoted. So this is what there. So you can access from anywhere, and any of the institutions contributions can check. Now this work is done by the InfluMNet Center to support of a NAC or NRF, whatever it is like. So we should know about this. So don't give any wrong credits, and immediately they will cross check and they will find out it. So now total 4,730 publications, which is by that Bharathidasan University. So now here, as I said, see here the first title, it says drought-induced responses of photosynthesis. So this article has 940 times cited. 940 times it got cited. So it means like this is the topmost the article which is by the Bharathidasan University produced. So this says 940 times cited. It is a really good article. Now this is by Vivekanandan Yam. So he is the author, my faculty member, and this is the journal what he had just chosen, Journal of Plant Physiology. So now see, within a one shot, I can understand what is the Bharathidasan University publication, what is that, and first paper, what is a highly cited paper, and who is the author and which journal. So all that information can be done in a single shot. Now this is what databases, okay, citation databases gives. So now here, as we try to just find out the H index, I've roughly told you I have an 8 articles, and each and every article, how many times of citations which is received, I put it in the descending order, and where exactly that match is called the my H index, right? So now same logic, I have a screenshots, I'll tell you. Now see, this is the first article by the Bharatdas University, which is received by the high citations. Okay, 940. Now first article 940. So like that, second article 426, third article 406. So like that, this is the article, this is the descending orders. So now I'll arrange. Now based on this arrangement, what I could see is my university has 94 is the H index. It means and an article average 94 times got cited in international. That's it. And an average 94 times, and each and every article got cited, right? Now total 4,730 publications, and it is cited in 73,316 times. 73,316 times it got cited. So based on this citation, we could receive a H index is 94. Now this is what a measurement which is done by the NAC or NRF to measure of your institution publications. It is very, very clear. Now this is one is over, and to how to just look for the H index for a particular institution. Say this screen, it shows like I have told you your number of papers and your number of citations where exactly matches. That's called the H index. Now sample I've selected for this. Now this is the arrangement. So 4,730 publications I have just arranged by descending order by the citations. Now 94 was our H index. So see here, this is the paper, 94th paper received a 95 times citations. As I told you, either it can be 94 to 94 citations, or 1 or 2 citations can be more. Okay, even then your H index is only based on your paper. So that's called the 94. So hope it's very clear. Yes, I've shown you with the practical. Now next is with the department search. I wish to show you the same logic, how you can find it for the department. So this I'll take very fast. And Bharatdas University, I can say, so this is the address I've selected. Then you can add any number of columns. So here I'm just saying that Department of Chemistry. So address I'm selecting it. Now I'll go for a search. So immediately I could get that Department of Chemistry of a Bharatdas University total publications. Now this says 856 publications by the Department of Chemistry, Bharatdas University. So in that DNA binding, this is the topmost article cited by 406 times by the Palni Andavar is the author. So this is what. So this is the number of articles and citations arranged. Now this department H index is 51. So like this, when we check your Hubli or whatever that institution participants from various institutions, when you check, you should get some credit on this. This only give the value of your NAC, your value of your NRF. Otherwise, it won't. So sometimes, if you're not published any of the index journals, you cannot even quote into this the research category. So that important which it has. So kindly educate your scholars and the faculty members to publish and get some credit by that indexed journals. Like now, this H index 51. This says like 856 publications. More than 13,000 times got referred by internationally. Okay, so now 51th paper exactly received a 51 citations. It got matched. So exactly H index is 51. Now same like author and one Mothaya I have just selected. This author has 160 publications in Web of Science. Now this is the first article received more than 105 citations, and yeah. So now his particular author's H index is 23. So like this, each and every faculty member's H index should show. Then it is good. All the members doing good. Otherwise, we need to improve on this. Now 160 publications, total 2,000 plus citations, and H index is 23. Now here 23 is the H index. So 24 times it got cited, right? So I very clearly explained where you can just go for a databases. In that Web of Science, what it is, I've explained. Now next is with the Scopus. Now Scopus is the abstract and citation database by the elsewhere. It has around 77,000 millions of records, and 16 plus millions of author profiles. Say, this also creates author profiles. Once you have a publication on this, immediately your profile will get ready. This profile will be visible for millions of people. That's what once you are contributing a very good paper on your subject people will be there and across the world, so everyone will come to know that. It is not so when you publish the same thing in the local journal, nobody knows and who you are. So maybe like a Hubli, the particular department, it's a wonderful research which is going on. They're doing excellent work, but outside, when we look with the publications, we could not get it like. So then there is a no, claim I'm doing good. So that should be based on your publication, based on your citation, based on your H index, all it is like. Now this is the way you can just go for it. And this gives for the 25,000 plus journals the indexed, and from see here larger coverage from 5,000 publishers it covers. So it means like across all topmost publishers, whatever they do, they are covering it. Now it covers a scientific, technical, medical, social sciences. This includes with all that. Okay, science and technology is the dominative, but it includes with the arts and humanities also. Now sample, same logic, the H index, what is by the Bharathasan University, only few screenshots I've just shown you. I'm just showing you. So here, like a Web of Science, it was on a 4,730, but here in the Scopus, it says like a 6,375. It means we have a more publication on a Scopus coverage. That's the meaning of this. I've told you indexed journals. So here, larger coverage, so larger publications we have done. That shows like a 6,375. Now one click, I can understand which department is doing good. Say like a principal wanted to know what exactly this department is doing. So whether they're just increased of the number of publications by when compared to last year, or total number of publications by this year, all that can be measured immediately. Now this shows like a chemistry as around 1,681 publications. There it was there 856, and here it says like a double, so 1,681. So like that you can get immediate. Now simply I'm just checking the chemistry department H index. Now as I said, the same logic, number of the articles, and descending by citations. Now this says like first article is a 439 got cited. Now H index is 73. Whereas in my Web of Science, it was around 51. So here it says like a 73. So it is good. So by author, same like author 195, same author I've just given. So that author has, and there in a 21, here is a 31. Okay. Now this is the way you can check for your contributions by institution, in department, and individual, right? So now I have very clearly explained of Web of Science and Scopus. Now third option which is available. So here the metrics which they're using is H index, item index. By the Google Scholar, freely available, everyone knows that. And here what you can do as a faculty member, you can just create your own profile. Say for example, and Hubli, this college, and number of faculty members, what you can say, you ask them to just create a Google profile. So then at least whatever the publication which is they have done, if it is available in online, Google will have an index automatically. So your name of the college, your publications will be visible at least for a and Google profile who are created. So that scholars can share of your publication details. So here Google Scholar has freely available, as you know, and this has a metrics of a H index and item index. And two more also they have for journals, that's called H5 and H5 median is there. Now these are the four metrics which they're using in a Google Scholar. So hope this is the profile. Maybe some of your faculty members or participants you might have created, and Google Scholar profile. How it looks is this is what Google profiles, and here it goes for the number of your journal article, total number of times cited. The first article is 277 times cited. So here you will get a H index and item index is the place. I wish to show you this, so I've just created. So here it says total number of this K. Balachandran, and he has around 5,241 citations for his publications. H index is 34 and item index is 138. So here H index, as I said, like number of times got average cited is 34, and item index is nothing but more than 10 times what your article is cited is called the I10 index. Okay, item index is nothing but more than 10 times got cited papers. So here his paper, around 138 papers got cited more than 10 times. So these two is the important calculators, and which is available, metrics which is available. Now Google Scholar, how simple you can just create. I'm just giving that only few minutes, we'll take it. And Google Scholar and .co.in, you can just go, give your Gmail account, and you can just give your credits. Now immediately you can just create a Google Scholar profile which is available. Click on it. Once you just click, you have only for a 3 steps: profile and articles and updates. Now profile, you have to give your name, your affiliation, your email verification. So here one important thing is like you can create by the Gmail, but for verification you have to give for your and institutional mail ID. For example, jayaprakash@bdu.ac.in, Bharatdasan University bdu.ac.in. Like that, you have to give for your official mail ID to verify. Why? Because this is for authentication. Really, you are a person doing a research by this institution, so institution can authenticate. So that is what this message and profile creation. So here you can add any number of articles. So many of the faculty members or scholars you might have created, but where exactly the mistake you might have just done is like adding an article. Sometimes when I just create without knowing this, so Jayaprakash, and suddenly when I just created, that shows like 1,000 papers and 10,000 citations on my name, but which is not true. I have only for 55 papers. Those 55 papers only I can add into this. But what are 1,000 papers is other Jayaprakash name, and it has just taken. So to eliminate, please select your articles. Maybe like sometimes you might have this problem. And adding an article by the group, you have to just select which group you are into. Now this is what selecting a group, and you can go for adding an article. Say here it says like 8 to 10 articles, but mine is only for first 2. So I can give a tick mark on this, say add. Now only these 2 articles will add to this. By mistake, when you say just process, all the 10 articles will be included in my profile, which is wrong. Okay, this is the way you can just go for selecting. Now even see adding an article by manual, which is possible, but advice is adding an article manual is you cannot upload your full text document. Here in the Google Scholar, what very specific, which is a request is you should have your full text paper in online. Okay, sometimes you might have just published in your the printed version. Better you can just scan. If it is no copyright issues, put it in your institutional repository or put it in your Google Drive. So then it refers from your Google Scholar. Otherwise, it won't refer. And so just giving in only bibliograph details, author, title, this, it won't allow you to just create for a number of citations. Why? Because citation, when I want to give some papers, I'll go through the entire paper and give the citation. So for that reason, so only adding this details won't enough. If you add, you try to put for your papers in online. Automatically, it have indexed by the Google Scholar. Now, last one is video update. Now, this is the third step, automatically update. So when you fix this, hereafter, whatever the paper it takes, it checks with the Jayaprakash B and from Bharatdasan University, bdu.ac.in. So once that's cross checks, automatically when you fix it, and hereafter it won't allow you to take up with the other names. Okay, those same name belongs to other institution, it won't include. Now these are the important which I would like to highlight on this. Now simple, I've created one profile to show you what is the H index, what is the citation of this. Now citation 51, H index is 4, H index 3. Now just to list out, so here very important, make it public. So without knowing this, your profile you might have created, but it won't be visible for a public. Only you can view it. So when you want to make visible by the public, click on it. Now verification, it will ask for your official mail ID. So once you have given, so your profile will be visible for international level. So till yesterday you were there in the Hubli and not created any profile. So you have a very good papers, which is around 100 papers. You have all that 100 which is not visible by anyone, but really you're doing a wonderful the research. So that research can be made by this profile. This will have a wonderful visibility outside. Individual credit you will get, and you will get for your department and plus your institution. All 3 can be done by this. Now H index is 4. See 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth paper, received 8 citations and claiming only for a H index is 4, not 8. Okay, as I said, like 1 or 2 more, it can be more. Now this is the fourth one. Now I-10 index, I've told you more than 10 times what it gets cited. This is the 10, 10, 15. So I-10 index is 3. So sample I am just telling you. Okay. So now the next database which shows like this is called Indian Citation Index, which is launched in 2009. It has around only for the Indian journals and 1,000 journals which is available. This 1,000 journals, around 1,000 journals which is available in all the scientific, technical, medical, social sciences. It has all. Okay. So now next is with the it is allowed to just more than one institution you can have a comparison. For example, like you can just select for a Hubli and you can select for a Bharathasan University and you can have a comparison also. They have some of that options, and it has that citations as like Web of Science. Same logic, H index, all citations, they are using a same logic of Web of Science, but simply they're adding an Indian Science Citation Index. Okay. So Science Citation Index, Indian Science Citation, Indian Social Science, like that they're just including, but rest all will be the same. How to calculate for a H index will same. So now this is the interface. This is again, it is a price edition, Delhi based the publication which is, and it is by again subscription based. Now this is the screenshots what you can get. You can search by that particular subject. So now I have searched in the social sciences total number of journals what is available. It says like 88. So here you can just go compare of your the institutionals, and you can just go for your number of the journals what exactly you want to contribute. You can select only that Indian journals can give a predict of this. Okay, this is about that Indian Citation Index. Now the last the database which is called Dimensions. It is very new. Just for information for faculty members and scholars, it's a very new database. It's called Dimensions by the Digital Science. So they are just coming up with in a very big way. Now say like 128 million publications it has. This is very larger than the Web of Science and Scopus, but yet to get a famous by the government institutions. But our UGC will take care. It is taking care only by that Web of Science and Scopus, not by this Dimensions or Dimensions or your Google Scholar also. Okay. So now this Dimensions, just for your information, I am just a screenshot. I'll tell you how big it is and what are the options which has. Now this is a Dimensions freely available. Dimensions.ai, you can just go AI. This has number of products, the free versions also which is available. So simply I've just searched the total number of publication. It just goes in millions of records. So now simple search I made it for Bharathasan University, and based on this search I could get for 12,000 plus. I could get for 12,000. Web of Science it was a 4,730, and Scopus it was there 6,375, and here in the Dimensions it says like a 12,000 plus 178. Okay, 12,178. It means very larger coverage. Okay, but yet to get a famous, it has not reached many institutions. It is very new. Okay, now side by side you can have a look into this all that options which is available for evaluating of yourself. Okay, so now what I'll do, I can just tell you year wise publication. You can say 2020 796 publication by Bharathasan University, 2019 1449. So like that you can go for the year wise. Now you can go by the researchers who's dominantly done it, and Muthuswamy Lakshmanan is a 300 publication which has made it. So like that you can go by that faculty members list and the field of research. You can understand that what are the important area. Chemical sciences was contributed more than 3,267 publications. So like that you can identify which field Bharathasan University is doing good. So now these all that information which is required to have a very good collaboration between the institutions. Now NAC, they're asking like they should establish that individual collaboration, department collaboration, and then institutions. So all that can be done only by this kind of a publication when it is visible. Say like a funding agencies, they wanted to contribute some of the funding towards that Bharathasan University. They may check what is our contributions. So then they can log in themselves without asking that Bharathasan University authorities. They can log in and find out like, oh, they're doing a very good in a chemistry and the chemical sciences, so they can contribute. So like that, there is an option to get the visible and getting an extent of a funding and collaboration. Now I can even understand by the publication type whether Bharat's University is contributing only the articles or book chapters, all it is, edited books, so that you can count, and source title, where the number of articles which is selected for a particular title. Now this journal is Acta Crystallographica. So that has 380 titles in the same journal that shows. Now these are the important or the options which is available. Now research categories, this says chemical sciences, total number of publication and citation in a single site, single screen itself. I can see here it's a very good options that the dimensions has. Now researchers, I can just select who are all the faculty members, what are the publication, what are the citations, okay, and average citations. Now for IQSC, it is very simple to fill it. They need not to ask that faculty members. Simply they can just log in and scroll out on all the databases and they can fill it out. Now highly cited publications, this says like a particular article, and highly cited publications I can collect. Now the last one, arithmetic score. I've told you each and every article. Now recent one, it is getting shared by the social media. Even this social media, whatever they're sharing can be calculated for your the citations. Now here it says like a 50 by the news outlets, and blogged by 11, tweeted by 104, and Facebook by 2. All it is reference management, it is by Wikipedia, all it is there. So like that you can just get account for whatever it is just searched by the social media also. So with that I'll conclude my presentation. So thank you so much for your patient listening. So now I'll just try to stop this and we'll discuss on this. And as per my today's class, I have just taken an initiative to share what is publication metrics, what are the metrics which is available, journal, author, and articles, and the H index, impact factor highlighted. And I've just given you what are the where you can just look for the H index in a citation databases. Now, what are the citation databases which is available? Very elaborately, I've just shown you like what is Web of Science has, and Scopus, dimensions, and all it is with the evidence of a screenshots and everything. Okay, so now these are the message which I would like to convey, and hopefully faculty members and the participants from all over the country. So thank you so much for that opportunity. Now I'll take up any of the query. And once again, I thank the authority for giving me the opportunity to interact with you. Really, I had a nice time, and thank you so much. Yeah, now I'll just take up the query, ma'am. Ready to answer for your queries.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable knowledge. There are some questions in the chat box, sir. The first question is, does the impact factor of a journal provides weightage for researcher profile?
Yes, obviously. I've told you, when you just try to put for the impact factor journals, the topmost researchers, they're looking what is new in this topmost journals. Then that reaches. So once that reaches, obviously you will get a credit. And whenever you go for the selection of a posting or whatever it is, they will look your publication with the weightage. So that gives the very good credit. So nothing wrong with that.
Sir, one more question is this, sir. How to find free journals for publishing articles?
See, actually, I've told you where and all you can just go for selecting at the journals. One is with the CARE journals, second is with the Web of Science Index journal, third one is for the Scopus Index journals. There you can just go, have a look into your subject, try to select with an impact factor, see to that author's guidelines. There they will be mentioning like what should be done, what kind of how you have to structure all it is, then you can go for it. Apart from this, there are a number of options to select for a good journals. So for example, journal finder is there, journal suggester is there, journal finder by that elsewhere. So what you can do, go to that scopus.com and elsewhere will be there, journalfinder.com. You can go there, select only for your abstract, copy paste into this. So based on your abstract, automatically that selects for a very good journal which is indexed by the Scopus. Okay, so that's called the elsewhere journal finder. And you have the other journal suggester by the Springer also. It has Springer have a journalsuggester.com, so that you can go. So now these are the options. That's a very simple to select for your good journal for your subject. And Teller and Francis, they also have a journal suggester. And one more is where EDANS, that is where the SAGE journals are there. Social science people, you can just select this. And apart from this, journal guide is there, journalguide.com. So it has more than number of journals which has. Now these are the options you can go for selecting for a good journal for your subject specific. Yes, hope I have answered for the query.
Next question, sir.
Yes.
If we publish one paper with a high impact factor and more
Okay.
paper with the less impact factors, then how the
Okay.
weightage is calculated, sir?
Now, weightage, whatever you just published, say NAC, what they're doing is they're asking like cumulative impact factor. Hope you might have got this information from your IQAC. You might have struggled also how to calculate this. So what you can do is like, say I have published the first journal article, it goes, the 4 is my impact factor is, okay, the journal. Second journal, what I've just selected is 2. So my total cumulative is a 6. So it is always, it gives for the high credit. So this is the way you have to calculate for your cumulative impact factor. So then if you see, when you have this very good impact factor journal publication, if it doesn't know where to give you a credit, then it is obviously wrong. So now this is the way you can give for the different the impact factor publications gives for a credit for your individual, department, institution. Yeah, thank you. Then
Sir, another 2 more questions are there, sir.
yeah,
Some
no
of the
problem.
institutions are not providing institutional mail ID. Then how they can create or access the Google Scholar?
See, giving in a creating a mail ID, you ask your authority, okay, and it is. See, almost you have your website, Google. I mean, your college is there. Your college name itself, you have a website. The only thing is domain you have to register, okay. So bdu.ac.in is the domain. So based on that, you ask your faculty, I mean your authority to give a mail ID. That is very simple. There won't be any cost to it, and already you have your domain. Only you are just going to create for a mail IDs. Okay, please request
Yes,
your authorities to give. That is most
yes,
important. Now when you want to share up your publication, when you want to share up your profile for a public, okay, then only your
yes,
institution will have a visibility. Otherwise you may do a wonderful research, but nobody knows what you're doing that. So you can
yes,
request your authority.
yes, sir. Sir, and one more,
Yes.
like only organization or agency like Thomson Research, they
Yeah.
will find like publish the impact factor list.
Yes.
Only that agency. And
Yes.
then like are there any other agencies which publishes impact factor list or details?
And that's what I've told you. When a Scopus, they're doing with it. Simoga Journal Ranking, they're doing it. SiteScore, they're doing it. SNP, they're doing it. Now, these are the journal list based on the ranking. They're doing it. You can select it. Okay. So why we are very specific for the Web of Science and Scopus is our NAC, our UGC, our NRF. Everyone is just looking only this kind of publications by this topmost journals. That is what our focus all goes into, only for Web of Science and Scopus. Okay, you try to select only by this.
Hello,
Then
sir. Hello, sir. So
yes,
that
ma'am. Yes,
question
ma'am.
was asked from Dr. Jait Chavan. He is
Okay.
IQAC coordinator from YCS Satara, Maharashtra, sir.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hope
Thank
hope they might have a clarification
Yeah,
for my answer.
okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Nagmani,
one more question.
Yeah.
How we can increase the impact like impact factor of research, especially like related to arts background, sir?
See, like again, it is getting a confusion. Impact factor that goes for the quality of a journal. Okay, now, and your H index and citation, it is for a individual letters. Okay, so now how to increase of individual citations? That is what the query I could understand. How to increase of individual citations? To increase of individual citation, you have to select a indexed journal. Index, that's what I've already, when I've just taken itself, I've told you, instead of just publishing your very good article in a local journal, okay, if a local journal in a Hubli, some of that journal which it is published for your subject, when you select on that, nobody knows. I'm sitting in Banaras University. I want to have a real tie-up with the Hubli College. So when I just look with the publication, I'm not looking at a very good the publication which is done by the Hubli in Web of Science. So obviously what I'll do, I cannot choose your college. So what you've done is like you've done it only for the local journals. So you ask your faculty members to put it in that index journals. Obviously that index journal will have a more visibility than the printer locally. So you will get a citations. In turn, your name, your institution will be visible outside. So this is what, where you can go get a publication, getting a citation. Yes.
One more last question, sir.
Now for suppose when one second. Suppose when you could not publish in the indexed journal, I have told you for a social science people, you whatever the publication you have done, try to create a Google Scholar. Okay, try to create a Google Scholar. This will automatically create an index of your papers. Then you will be visible for an international level. Based on that, you will get for a citations. Now these are the important options. You can do that. Yes, ma'am. Now we can.
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, except the list one, what about the other standard publications, which is not listed by Scopus, Web of Science, but indexed and publishing quality journals like in elsewhere, ProQuest? Because as of now, Google Scholar and Dimensions are not listed by UGC Care.
Okay. Now see, like a UGC Care List, only two options: Group 1, Group 2. Group 1
Yes.
is purely recommended by the committee members, by the university colleges. Okay, now, and the Group 2, which is already up now, we are by force, our UGC doing us, our NAC or NRF, whoever it is, they are asking us to only consider these three. Only this three. If you are doing beyond that, you won't get any credit. Now, see to that, whoever the publication, maybe like you're trying to publish in a search journals of social sciences, you try to see that this social science journal, whether it is indexed in Web of Science or a Scopus. Are you getting? And sometimes you may get a confusion, like only to have a look into that Web of Sciences, it is fine. And other way, you can just go to the social sciences and Sage journals. You try to select the journal, try to understand this journal is whether it is indexed by Web of Science or a Scopus. Okay. If that is the case, you will get a citation. If it is not, it is very difficult to get a citation. That's what it is. Hope I have answered.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes,
If
sir.
it is not very clear, yeah, if
No,
it is not very
no,
clear, ask the participants to directly talk to me. I can just convey
yes.
if any other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Fine,
sir.
fine.
Thank you for
Yes,
for
ma'am.
your all the valuable suggestions and discussion. Now, I request Dr. S.J. Hangal, madam, to share the opinion about the webinar. Madam?
Madam, you asked Dr. Chavan also. Nagvani?
Sure, madam. Sure, sure.
Dr. Chavan.
Sir,
Huh?
Chavan, sir, can you share the opinion about today's webinar?
Sir, you can unmute yourself.
Madam, Hankal madam is.
Yes, shall I give the feedback?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, madam. Go on, madam.
Yeah.
Go on, madam.
Yeah. Good afternoon to one and all. And I take this opportunity to give my feedback. On the outset, I just would like to congratulate our principal madam and the team for organizing such a wonderful webinar. And the topic was very, very apt. More than the topic, the choice of the resource person is really wonderful. He is being from the library science. He himself is like a mini university. I could feel with so much of practical information. Sir, I would like to congratulate for your very informative, wonderful talk. And I feel that this is very useful for all the stakeholders, not only to the present working teachers, faculty members, but also for the students who are going to be our future research scholars. And information what you have given, especially related to the JCR, Journal Citation Report, was really good. And I think it is going to empower us in our coming days as far as our publications and research activities are conducted. So in the nutshell, I said that I would like to express that this webinar was really useful, and surely your talk has motivated many of us to make informed decision as far as our visibility is concerned with regard to publications. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
I could also just, see that in a chat box, somebody was asking that how long it takes for, how many days required to write a standard or a useful research paper and best way to publish. So actually standard paper, it takes for 6 months, I'll say. And sometimes If it is a very good impact factor journal, you have to wait for 6 to 8 months. 8 months. Writing a paper, 6 months. Again, to wait for a good the article to be published, 6 months to 8 months. See, whenever you are selecting a particular journal, they have an option to go and see that how that evaluation option of this. So when you submit your journal article, how they're just taking for the evaluation test that goes to the editors, number of peer review experts, and then they will have a very good flow. See to that, then you can understand like how long it takes. But all we are hurrying like immediate credit. So we are not in a position to wait for the number of days. So this is what the person Jai Saugan, that's what Madam was telling. So they have around somewhere from Maharashtra. So they lost because of the research papers. Even they have a number of papers which does not they have not published and indexed, so they have lost their credit. So this gives a very good information to all the participants. So it is very clear saying that number of publications when you have, if you does not have any with the indexed paper, it won't give any credit for the individual and institutions. Yeah, it is a very good message for all the participants. Thank you. Yeah, now next you can proceed, ma'am.
Now I request Chavan sir to give his opinion. Sir?
Ma'am, actually he has some audio problem. He is unable to talk, ma'am.
Okay.
Now I request. Yes, ma'am.
You can ask to the Harish or Gomti ma'am. See the participant. Can you ask? Just
Chavan sir is ready. Chavan sir is ready. Is raising hand.
Chavan sir is ready. You ask.
Yes, sir. Chavan sir, please share your opinion.
Unmute. Chavan sir, unmute yourself.
Yeah. Yes, it's audible.
Yes, sir. It's audible. Yes.
It was a really wonderful session which was conducted by Jai Prakash sir. As we are aware that the IQAC coordinator, is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's audible.
Okay. IQAC coordinator is the most frustrated person in the campus.
Yes.
As he needs to collect the information from the colleagues.
Yes.
He has to deal with the principal and he has to deal with the management for the every aspects.
Yes, sir.
Since I got the link for this particular event from the Dr. Uma Nerle. She is always associated with us. Always we are keeping touch with various purposes. Since she shared the link for me for this particular event, I was very happy because she selected a very perfect topic. Nowadays, it is very much important as new education policy expect that most of the institutions will be now research institutions, and what quality measures should be taken while publishing the research. So, sir, I have covered a very informative topics, especially the various databases, how we can calculate our impact factor, I-10 index, H index, everything you have covered and resolved all the queries which were raised by the participants. So really, I congratulate Dr. Resource person, Dr. Jai Prakash, as well as the principal, Dr. Uma Nerle, and her team for organizing such events. Thank you. Thank you for providing opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Uday Kumar, sir. Dr. Uday Kumar, sir. Can you give your feedback?
Thank you all, and congratulations for arranging this type of a very good webinar. Very useful it was, madam. And at this point of time, this type of webinar you have arranged, and I thank very much, Professor, for giving such a very nice and optimum. And the presentation was very clear and full of information. I hope everyone should make use of it, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So much of information and hidden in a very optimum and to the point, and what is required for NIRF and NAC and all those things. Not only individuals, it is very useful for institutions also. That is it, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Nagmani?
Thank you, sir. Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Please inform to everyone to catch on their videos for 2-3 screenshots, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I request all the participants to switch on their videos to take the photos.
Group photo.
All the participants, please switch on your videos.
Yes, Nagveni.
Okay. Thank you all. I request now Dr. K.S. Betgiri, HOD of PG Mathematics, to propose a vote of thanks. Sir?
Nagveni, you continue, please. Nagveni, you continue.
Yes. On behalf of our college and principal madam and Kelly's management, I wholeheartedly thank today's resource person, Jaiprakash sir, for his valuable talk and for sharing all the throughout the session full of information, and it was very helpful to all the young researchers and also to the students. And I also like to thank all the participants who have been here from 1 hour, and I also thank all the colleagues and who have helped us directly and indirectly to arrange this national webinar. Thank you one and all. And